Hey guys and gals, Jim back here, and if you recall my last video, I kind of showed you a little bit how, from my years of model railroading and different things like that, making scenery, I showed you how I start out a base with layering little piece, stacks of foam. In this case, I use foam core, being I'm not doing a real big diorama or nothing, but if I was doing something larger like a model railroad, which I did a lot of from the early 70s all the way up until the very early start of the 90s, I used to use the regular big styrofoam insulation sheets and all that, and then I do a plaster shell over them with paper towels soaked in plaster and draped over, just kind of like for the shell and the contours. And then if I was doing like mountains, canyons, stuff like that, which I did a lot of, being I modeled a lot of the Denver and Rio Grande Western era. I would make latex molds and then use plaster or expanding foam to make my rock work and stuff. But it's basically the same thing what I'm doing here, but I'm not making any kind of rock molds. But I got all my plaster done, and I thought I'd just show this to you before I start covering it and finish up. I'm not going to do a step-by-step. And the next stages, I'm just going to show this, and then I'm going to have the next video on this will be a finished diorama. But basically, when we do a diorama like this, I got all my plaster work done. So the next thing I'll be doing is I'll spray at my base color, and that'll kind of seal up the plaster. And one thing in model railroading and what we do is we don't spread glue on here and then sprinkle our different ground foams and textures. What we do is we put all our ground foam, grass, whatever you're even if you're using like lichen and stuff like that, the bigger pieces for shrubs, we put all that on here. Then we take a spray bottle and real lightly mist it all so it stays put. And then we just use plain old Elmer's glue. Mix it about maybe 2/3 water, 1 part glue. Put a couple drops of any kind of dish soap in there. It doesn't matter what the brand, doesn't matter if it's scented or not. It helps it flow. And then what we do is I use the glue bottle. I just set it so it doesn't squirt out, but so it just drops out. And what happens is, all your ground foam, your ground covering is already sprayed down and moist so it doesn't fall off or move around. You spread your glue, spray your glue down on there, and once it dries, everything's held permanently in place, and if you go pick it up and tip it over, nothing's going to fall off. But when it's all dried, said and done, it looks real natural. You can't even tell the stuff is glued down. It still looks like it just came out of the bag. You sprinkle it down and it wasn't even glued down. That's the way we went about doing that. And the reason you put a couple drops of dish soap in there, it helps the glue water mixture to kind of spread throughout the ground foam and the ground covering and stuff. If you're using little bits of like gravel, little rocks and stuff like that, you do all that beforehand. If you're making a little water scene, like a little pond, like I'm kind of do a little thing here, put all your, like if you want to do a couple like sunken logs or twigs, do all that this at the same time, and then you glue down. Then once you're done, you can add your water, whatever you're going to use, medium for your water and stuff like that. But that's the way we did it in model railroad scenery. That's the way I still do it to this day. Like I said about making like rock molds for your different outcroppings and stuff, like on your mountains and your canyons and stuff, or if you had a big long trestle bridge crossing over a river or something with waterfalls. When we did the rock molds, it's basically the same like weathering a model like we do nowadays with washes. We'd spray them to different earth tones and stuff to make them look natural. And then I used to take a spray bottle just mixed with black craft paint, water-based craft paint, and in a big Windex bottle, and spray it on there, and it get into all the crevices just like it does in all the panel lines on models and stuff. So really, there's not a big difference between weathering and stuff on model railroad scenery than there is on plastic model kits and stuff like that. So, that's where I got a lot of my weathering techniques. I use a lot of pastel chalks. Sometimes I'll even do pastel chalks and whether up a model look like it has a wash, but it's actually just done with dry pastel chalks and a brush, and to highlight different areas and stuff and pick out different detail like that. So, but it's pretty much all the same. But that's a little idea. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be for model railroading. It could be for making dioramas for your models and stuff like that. So I just thought I'd share that little tidbit with you. Next time you see this, it'll be all done. The little ATS will be mounted on here. It's kind of like a little hillside thing with a little path coming down. It's going to have trees all over it and stuff covered with ground foam. A little water scene, kind of watering hole and things like that, just to make it an interesting looking diorama. So till the next time, thanks for subscribing, thanks for watching, thanks for all the nice comments, thanks for hitting the like button, thanks for checking out all my videos. To all my new subscribers, I appreciate it a whole lot. And we'll talk to you pretty soon. So till the next time, happy modeling, take care, and we'll see you. Bye.